Hello, we are live, we're finally live again. This is Griff, and I'm in the Redwoods once again. Isn't it beautiful? And I'm right near the road, y'all. Like, you can park and walk into this in seconds if you go down the Avenue of the Giants. But today, I'm gonna talk about you, okay? I'm gonna talk about y'all. You know when you go to your favorite national or state park and you see the wildlife and you see the birds and you're like, these birds are so beautiful and they sing so wonderful. That's why I love coming to the park, so I can see the birds or the wildlife or the cool trees. But surprise, when you come to your favorite park, especially if it's near you where you live, you're connected to the park. Not just you, but the things in the park are also connected to where you live. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about migration. So you can help the wildlife that you see in your parks that you love, especially the birds. You can help them because a lot of them will be migrating through your neighborhood, your yard, your place of worship, your workplace, to get to where they're going, either their breeding grounds or their wintering grounds. So when they use your house or your yard or your whatever as a migratory pit stop, there's either going to be no food there and they're going to be very disappointed, or there's going to be lots of food there. So you're like, oh, don't worry, I have bird feeder with tons of seed. Not all birds eat seed. Okay, and we're going to talk about one of those today. But migration is an interesting phenomenon, and we can kind of explain it now. And just because we can explain this phenomena doesn't mean that it's not magical. It just means that if you can explain it in scientific terms, that you're a wizard. Okay, so there's lots of different kinds of migration. There's migration from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain, because the top of the mountain it snows and stuff, and so the birds are like, and they come down to the bottom of the mountain. So these short elevational migrations. And there's also continent to continent migrations. So there's migrations that go from Canada to South America, crazy, or Europe to Africa, crazy. And you're probably wondering, like, why would these birds that live in the tropics come up to Northern California or wherever your favorite state or national park is? Why would you leave the tropics? The tropics got all this biodiversity. Well, Northern California has a lot more daylight length in the summer than the tropics do. So it means that a lot of these songbirds can hunt longer and therefore have more young, and maybe even have two broods. So broods is like family, like two broods, okay? And we have a lot of native plants up here, and the butterflies evolved with them, and so there's tons of caterpillars, and caterpillars are the best things. It's baby food for birds, okay, caterpillars, because they don't have spines and stuff all over them. Now, when birds migrate from your favorite park to their wintering grounds, okay, your North American favorite park to their Central American, whatever, they often stop by your house. And I'm going to talk about one of the birds that nests in my park, Humboldt Redwood State Park. This is the Wilson's Warbler. Isn't that cute? That's cute. I don't care who you are. That is cute. But they don't eat seeds, so when you put out your seed feeders, you're not helping everybody. And these birds don't fly straight down to Mexico and Central America. They stop along the way. And they're looking for insects. That's what they eat year-round. Not just feeding their babies, but they eat that all the time. And so the insects are going to be on the plants they evolved with, native plants. But most of the plants in our yards and our schools and our work and most businesses, they're plants from Asia and Europe, and they don't host insects. Okay, and you're like, well, I'll just keep my window open because I got roaches in my house and they can just come in here and eat all these. That's not how it works. They forage on native plants. Okay, so you can find native plants and plant them in your yard, and that way when things are migrating through, they can stop and eat food. Because imagine if you had to like ride your bike. Some of you have gone for long distance bike rides, but you need to stop along the way and eat and get water. Okay, so offering a well-cleaned, well-maintained bird bath with like bubbles in it because they like the sound of running water, birds do, and some native plants and bird feeders if you want, although if you plant native plants you don't really need bird feeders. So if you do that, you can help the birds in your favorite park get down to the wintering grounds and then come back up here to nest. All right, so just to give you an example, the Wilson Warbler, it breeds up here in the orange, and I know that, oh, you know what, I can flip this around, I can flip it around. So if you look at this, the Wilson's Warbler is breeding where it's orange, okay? So Humboldt is in that orange part. And then it flies through the yellow part. So if you live in the yellow part, which is probably most of you watching this right now, that means that the Wilson's Warbler is coming through your town on their way to the blue part, whereas they're going to winter, and they can't go through all that yellow without stopping and eating, so they need you to plant some native plants, y'all. So you're like, well, I would, but I don't know what a native plant is, and I don't know where to go. Well, let me help you, because I got your back when it comes to helping nature, you know what I'm saying? So what you want to do is, actually, I'm going to put you back into this other mode here. Okay, there it is. Come on now. Here we go. All right. So, Homegrown National Park, Doug Ptolemy, he wrote Nature's Best Hope. Everybody should read that book. If I was rich, I'd pay everybody to read Nature's Best Hope. But if you go to Homegrown National Park, he has tons of links on his site that will help you find native plants where you're at, and you can watch his videos, and you can learn all kinds of ways to help animals in your spaces, wildlife in your spaces. If you're in California, go to calscape.org. This is put out by the California Native Plant Society, and you can filter for deer-resistant native plants, drought-resistant native plants, all kinds of stuff, and for your very specific area, because California is very diverse, so you got to use Calscape. Native Plant Finder is pretty good for the rest of the country, and it's put out by National Wildlife Federation, and you can put your zip code in there, and it will tell you what plants you should plant and what insects they'll attract. So very helpful. So thank you guys very much. And if you want to learn more about birds, go to allaboutbirds.com. Here it is in mirror form, so you can try to figure it out. Allaboutbirds.com. It's put out by Cornell University. You can read about migration. You can read about how to prevent window strikes. You can learn all kinds of stuff. So thank you. Visiting a park is not a terminal event. You're coming here to vacation and relax and stuff, but you're also coming here to learn, to observe how beautiful this area is, and then to find some birds or find some animals that may be migrating through where you live and get ready for them. Plant native plants. All right, see y'all later.